Howard Lutnick needs to resign. So does Trump, but that's less likely to happen than maybe Howard Lutnick. And I can't stop watching this video. Something disturbs me. I showed it to you, but I want to circle back and then give you the latest on what's going on, including a Republican congressman calling for Lutnick to resign. He's the Commerce Secretary of Trump's. And he appears in this clip where Trump gets asked about a meeting that was supposedly happening to deal with the fallout of the Epstein files. And as Trump's getting asked about that, there's no joke. There's no joke that was told. And Lutnick is hysterically laughing, trying to seem not nervous by going, oh, this is so fun, because he knows he was lying to the whole country. So I'll remind you of that in a second here. Howard Lutnick actually had a multi-year relationship with Epstein, did not cut him off like he said so clearly and confidently. And he's been caught in this massive lie, saying that the first time he met Epstein, he got such a horrible feeling that he cut him off forever. And in reality, he was vacationing with them, was talking about a nanny that Epstein could connect with, was doing business with him. And those types of lies should not go unpunished. So here's the video where Lutnick is so creepily smiling.
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but...
One more time. Does this freak you out? Something about the way he's laughing? Because now we know he knew he was lying. This isn't like I've heard some famous people who at some point emailed with Epstein, or Epstein sent them an email inviting them to something, and they had totally forgotten about it. And I'm like, nah, actually, you're at that status. Someone emailed you. Maybe you said something back, but you didn't really at a certain year. Maybe you really forgot. Howard had like a long relationship with Epstein that he was lying about. So he knew he was lying. So why? Just because he thought the friendship was embarrassing? Maybe. Or is there more? Once someone lies about something like that, so disprovable, it makes you wonder what else they're lying about. And the way he was laughing here makes me wonder what the heck's going on in his head.
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I...
Ugh, it's really disturbing me for some reason. So here is Republican Congressman Thomas Massie calling for Howard Lutnick to resign. Then I'll show you the latest on why. While you watch this, by the way, if you appreciate this show, here's all I'm asking. Some people say, get a product, like get Pep, right? Some people ask, get merch, LukeBeasleyMerch.com. People say, get a membership, click the join button below. People say all those things. I say all those things sometimes. Not right now. Hey, you want to do those things, you can do those things. Not right now. Just the subscribe button would be great, completely free.
Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that he and his wife decided around 2005 to cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. But the latest release shows that there was some correspondence after that, even after Epstein pleaded guilty to sex crimes in 2008. What questions do you have about Lutnick's ties to Epstein, and should he come before Congress and testify?
No, he should just resign. I mean, there are three people in Great Britain that have resigned in politics. The ambassador from Great Britain to the United States, the prince lost his title for less than what we've seen Howard Lutnick lie about. Look, Howard Lutnick clearly went to the island, if we believe what's in these files. He was in business with Jeffrey Epstein, and this was many years after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted, lightly sentenced, but was convicted for sexual crimes. So he's got a lot to answer for, but really he should make life easier on the president, frankly, and just resign. If this were Great Britain, he'd already be gone.
In other countries, what is he about to say?
For the record, the Commerce Department says that he had limited interactions with Mr. Epstein.
Okay. In other countries, as he named the UK, people are getting named. Not a specific crime even with some of them. Just their association with Epstein getting dropped. Getting punished. At least in the court of public opinion. Having titles stripped. For real evidence in that case of actual wrongdoing. Or losing jobs. Or in some cases, not even for the depth of evidence we see with some of the people we're talking about here. And there's in the United States, it's like, what's new? No one's even, they're just like, yeah, moving on. Howard Lutnick just still maniacally cackling behind Trump every time he's doing a press conference. No punishment. I'll remind you of that clip where he denies this, but just this is what's disturbing me. Okay, so you have the potential or already realized revelations. That's one disturbing element. But with some of them, when you don't have evidence of a crime yet, but you just do have evidence of, it looks like the poll is okay, we'll leave it, whatever. Notice a little thing about the camera today. With some of them, it's just the willingness to blatantly lie about their relationship. Elon, he always wanted me to go to the island, but I always said no. And then you can see an email, and it's like, aside from him saying this to a sex trafficker, it's embarrassing just for a person to another person. Like, I don't want to find a text of me texting Jaden saying, when do I get to go to the wildest party, Jaden? Can I come, please? That's weird and needy, just aside from the sex trafficking of it all. Then you introduce that and you go, what the hell? He was already, as Massey said, already convicted of sex crimes against children after 2008. And after that, Elon was like, please, I want to go to the wildest party. How could he lie like that? And then Howard Lutnick, same thing. Let me read this to you, and then let me replay the clip so you can just really see the willingness to brazenly, pathologically lie. Howard Lutnick, the New York Times reports, President Trump's billionaire commerce secretary interacted with the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein regularly over at least 13 years while they lived next door to one another. This is the Epstein administration. That's what this is. Epstein administration. Next door on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Records released last week by the Justice Department show. They invested in the same privately held company together, dealt with one another on neighborhood and philanthropic issues, and appear to have socialized in New York and the Caribbean, the records show. Mr. Epstein at one point sought to meet with Mr. Lutnick's nanny. The records directly contradict Mr. Lutnick's assertion on a podcast last year that he had been so disgusted by Mr. Epstein during a 2005 visit to his townhouse that Mr. Lutnick had never set foot in a room with Mr. Epstein again. So that would be a much more reasonable story, right? 2005, this conviction hadn't happened yet. I literally no way I could have known. I move in. I happened to move in next door to him, and I get a creepy vibe. Never talk to him again. You go, all right, hey, did nothing wrong there. But now we learn 13-year relationship, and he's just completely lying. Here's an email from 2012. So definitely well past 2008, and definitely 6 or 5. You can take that down. But let's look at the clip now.
He opens the doors, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room. Ooh. And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me. Ooh. And he says, and the right kind of massage. Ooh. Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. Oh. And so I look back at it.
Says Miranda. He's lying.
It's a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift.
So, let's see. 13 years. Not business. Not philanthropy. Not socializing. Wow. I mean, there was that one where he's like, hey, we're coming to the, to the island and we have 4 kids each. Talking about, we assume like their own children, but he was so grossed out by him that he asked to vacation with his kids. So grossed out. He's just a liar. Again, he would say, I did nothing wrong. Then, okay, why'd you lie? So obviously. And also now watching it back, I get the chills. The way he's like remembering every word of that conversation. Because he's making it up. So of course, a conversation from 2005, you're going to remember exactly every word and how many steps and blah, 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 blah. No, you made that up. That's why you have all those specifics. Because you got to invent them. And then he said, the right kind of massage. And he got real close. Ugh. Lies. So what? Why? Why are you lying? Resign. It's really freaking me out. And think about this administration. You go, Trump's all just, I mean, what? His name's in there more than Jesus is in the Bible. Okay, etc. Apply that to other religious texts. More than Zeus is in the Percy Jackson series, or more than Percy Jackson's in the Percy Jackson series. Okay, that wasn't religion I was saying, but that got confusing. I was just trying to think of a name in the Percy Jackson series. Do they talk about Zeus a lot? I don't know. More than, I'll keep going. More than Luke Beasley is named in the Luke Beasley. Shut up. So you get the point. A lot. So you have Trump, and then you go, well, surely that's it, right? In this administration, the whole Elon thing happens, and you go, okay. There's no way Epstein's next door neighbor is in the administration, right? Commerce Secretary. Okay. There's no way someone ever served in a Trump administration who cut the plea deal for Epstein, right? Oh, was in Trump's first administration. Crazy. But here is what I think is an important way to interpret these events for Democrats, because you're thinking you have the event itself and our longing for justice and our exposing of the lies that are being told. But then aside from that, what's like the way to message about this on the campaign trail? Because this is about political figures. So, and John Ossoff, I think, cited Epstein in a very powerful way during his Senate campaign speech.
Now, you remember, we were told that MAGA was for working class Americans. You remember that? But this is a government of, by, and for the ultra-rich. It is the wealthiest cabinet ever. This is the Epstein class ruling our country. They are the elites they pretend to hate. So prices are up, jobs are going away, Medicaid and school lunches are slashed, nursing homes are getting defunded. If you're Steve Bannon and your pitch was Trump for the forgotten man and woman, how do you sell any of this? Trump was supposed to fight for the working class. Instead, he's literally closing rural clinics and hospitals to cut taxes for George Soros and Elon Musk. He was supposed to end the globalist world police foreign policy. Instead, we're doing war for oil and nation building again and threatening to conquer Greenland. He was supposed to drain the swamp. Instead, this is the most corrupt administration of all time, and everybody knows it.
That's it. Because it's about these crimes. It's about these friendships with a criminal. It's about all of that. And there's also a bigger point. Not even bigger, but another point, I should say, about our system and who it's serving and what the people that it's serving think they can get away with. And Trump's the epitome of that, not the figure that's going to dismantle it like he sold himself as. And the way Ossoff did that, I think is so powerful to say he serves the Epstein class. What does that mean? It means the elite class of people who think they could get away with anything, think the laws don't apply to them, think their wealth shields them from accountability, and think that they can use their wealth to rig the system against working Americans. And I hadn't heard that phrase before, the Epstein class, because it's jarring. We hear a lot, the elites, the wealthy, but it's jarring to think of it in those terms. And then for him to go through and cite specifics about how Trump has betrayed the voters that thought he was going to be their hero is very compelling. Presidential? Maybe.